Hi, everyone. Welcome to English Story School, where captivating tales come to life and learning English becomes an adventure with every story. Have you ever imagined a place where centuries of wisdom, secrets, and stories lie hidden, waiting for someone to uncover them? What if I told you that such a place exists, a library forgotten by time, where every book holds a key to mysteries long lost? Welcome to The Lost Library, where we embark on a journey to rediscover this ancient trove of knowledge. Are you ready to unlock the secrets hidden within its dusty tomes and forgotten halls? Let's dive in. Our story begins in the quiet town of Ravenswood, a place steeped in history and shrouded in mystery. Ravenswood is the kind of town where every cobblestone street whispers tales of days gone by, and where the past seems to linger in the air like a forgotten melody. It's here, amidst the ivy-covered buildings and ancient trees, that we first hear the tale of the Lost Library, a place so legendary that many believe it's just a myth. For generations, the townsfolk have spoken of a grand library that once stood at the heart of Ravenswood. This library was no ordinary collection of books. It was said to house volumes of ancient texts, manuscripts written in forgotten languages, and scrolls filled with arcane knowledge. But one fateful night, the library vanished without a trace, leaving behind only stories and speculation. Some say it was hidden away by the town's elders to protect its secrets. Others believe it was swallowed by the earth during a great storm. But the truth has eluded everyone until now. Our tale truly begins with a young historian named Evelyn. Evelyn had always been fascinated by the stories of the Lost Library, even as a child. While others dismissed it as a fairy tale, she was determined to find out the truth. After years of research, poring over old maps and forgotten journals, she stumbled upon a clue, an old diary belonging to one of the town's founding members. The diary spoke of a hidden passage beneath the town, a labyrinth of tunnels that were once part of the library's vast network. With this newfound lead, Evelyn set out on an expedition to uncover what had been lost for centuries. As she ventured deep into the forgotten tunnels, she was struck by the eerie silence that enveloped her. The air was thick with dust, and the walls were lined with crumbling stone. But Evelyn pressed on, driven by the promise of discovery. After hours of navigating the labyrinth, she finally arrived at a massive, ornate door, one that had not been touched in over 100 years. With trembling hands, she pushed it open, revealing a sight that took her breath away. The door creaked open to reveal a vast, dimly lit chamber. Shelves upon shelves of books stretched as far as the eye could see, each one covered in a thick layer of dust. The air was heavy with the scent of old paper and leather, and the only sound was the soft rustling of pages, as if the books themselves were whispering their secrets. Evelyn could hardly believe her eyes. The Lost Library was real, and she was the first person to set foot in it for generations. But as she explored the library, she quickly realized that this was no ordinary collection of books. The volumes she found were unlike anything she had ever seen before. Some were written in languages she couldn't decipher, while others contained illustrations of strange creatures and forgotten lands. There were books of spells, ancient histories, and prophecies that spoke of events yet to come. Each one was a treasure trove of knowledge, waiting to be unlocked. But there was more to the library than just books. As Evelyn delved deeper into its depths, she discovered hidden chambers filled with artifacts, old relics from a bygone era, each one holding a piece of the library's history. As Evelyn continued her exploration, she began to notice something strange. It was as if the library was alive, watching her every move. The shadows seemed to shift and change, and she could feel a presence in the air, a sense that she was not alone. It wasn't long before she discovered the truth. The lost library was guarded by ancient spirits, protectors of the knowledge that lay within its walls. These guardians had been tasked with keeping the library safe from those who would misuse its power, and they had done so for centuries. At first, Evelyn was afraid. The spirits were formidable, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. But as she spoke with them, she realized that they were not her enemies. They had been waiting for someone like her, someone who respected the knowledge the library held and was worthy of its secrets. With their guidance, Evelyn began to uncover the true purpose of the lost library. It was not just a repository of forgotten knowledge, it was a place of learning, where the wisdom of the past could be used to shape the future. As Evelyn spent more time in the library, she began to unlock its many secrets. She discovered that the library had been hidden away, not out of fear, but out of necessity. The knowledge it contained was powerful, too powerful for the world at the time. But now, as the world stood on the brink of change, the time had come for the library to be revealed once more. Evelyn learned of ancient prophecies that spoke of a time when the library's knowledge would be needed to guide humanity through a great trial. As Lily continued her exploration, her curiosity drew her deeper into the history of the library, a place that had long stood as a beacon of knowledge and wisdom. The dusty tomes and scrolls whispered of the scholars and mages who had once tended this sanctuary of learning. With each parchment she unraveled, a rich tapestry of stories began to emerge, stories of devoted individuals who had dedicated their lives to safeguarding the treasure trove of knowledge contained within the library's ancient walls. The writings spoke of revered scholars, each a luminary in their own right, whose lives had been interwoven with the very fabric of the library. There was Master Elric, a figure whose insatiable thirst for knowledge led him to travel far and wide, gathering scrolls and manuscripts from distant lands. His passion was infectious, and his teachings inspired generations of students who would gather under his watchful eye. Through his notes, Lily could almost hear the echo of his voice, animated and full of wonder, as he shared tales of the stars and the ancient civilizations that had flourished before them. Then there was the enigmatic Lady Seraphina, a mage known not only for her extraordinary magical abilities, but also for her gentle demeanor and wisdom. She had believed that knowledge was not merely meant to be stored, but should be shared freely, lighting the way for those who sought to learn. Her writings were laced with compassion, encouraging future generations to engage with the library's resources, to explore ideas, and to challenge conventions. Lily was particularly struck by a passage in which Lady Seraphina had penned, "Knowledge is a garden. It flourishes when nurtured, but it withers in isolation." These accounts painted a vivid picture of a time when the library was not just a collection of books, but a living community of learners and dreamers. Scholars would convene in the grand reading hall, their discussions rising like a symphony, ideas sparking like fireflies in the twilight. Through their collaboration, they developed new magical theories, philosophical insights, and practical applications of the knowledge they preserved. Lily could envision the wooden tables laden with scrolls, the scent of ink and parchment mingling with the rich aroma of tea as these intellectual giants exchanged thoughts and dreams. As she dove deeper into their writings, Lily began to uncover the trials these guardians of knowledge faced. There were accounts of dark times when the library was threatened by forces that sought to erase history and suppress knowledge. The guardians had stood resolute, united in their belief that the preservation of knowledge was essential for the survival of their culture and values. They had forged alliances, risking their lives to safeguard the library from those who would see it destroyed. These tales of bravery and conviction resonated with her, igniting a fire within her own spirit. With each story, Lily's understanding of the library deepened, revealing not just its significance, but the weight of responsibility that came with it. She recognized that the library was a repository of history, culture, and magic, a place where the past could be studied, understood, and respected. But it was also a living entity, requiring care and nurturing to thrive. The scholars and mages who had come before her had understood this fundamental truth. They had dedicated their lives to the library, not out of obligation, but out of love and reverence for the knowledge it held. Reflecting on their commitment, Lily felt a profound connection to these historical figures. They had devoted themselves to preserving the stories and wisdom of countless others, ensuring that future generations could learn from the past. It dawned on her that she, too, had a role to play in this lineage. The library was calling her not just to explore its depths, but to continue its legacy, to champion the pursuit of knowledge and foster a space where others could come to learn, grow, and share. Determined to honor the spirit of the guardians who had once walked these halls, Lily began to devise a plan. She envisioned a revival of the community's relationship with the library, drawing on the principles of collaboration and shared learning that had once thrived there. She thought of organizing gatherings where people could come together to discuss ideas, share their own stories, and explore the vast resources available to them. Workshops could be held to teach the younger generation the importance of knowledge and the magic of inquiry. Lily understood that the stories of those who had tended the library were not just relics of the past, they were beacons guiding her toward a brighter future. She felt an exhilarating sense of purpose, realizing that the responsibility she now carried was not a burden, but a privilege, a chance to be part of something greater, a chance to honor the legacy of the wise scholars and mages who had come before her. As she pored over the texts, her heart swelled with gratitude for those who had laid the groundwork for her own journey. With each passing day, she became more resolute in her commitment to the library and its mission. She would ensure that the library remained a vibrant hub of knowledge, a sanctuary for curiosity, and a place where the flame of learning would never extinguish. In doing so, she would not only revive the library's legacy, but also create new stories to add to its rich narrative, stories that would inspire generations to come. Lily closed the last scroll with a sense of fulfillment, ready to step into her role as a steward of knowledge, a guardian of the library's legacy. As she left the dusty corners of the library behind, she carried with her the spirits of the scholars and mages who had inspired her, ready to weave her own story into the ever-evolving tapestry of the library's history. But with this newfound knowledge came a formidable challenge that weighed heavily on Evelyn's shoulders. She felt the tremor of responsibility ripple through her, a reminder that the knowledge she had unearthed was not merely a treasure to be hoarded, but a legacy meant to be shared. The library, with its vast archives and ancient secrets, held a power that could inspire and enlighten, yet it also carried the risk of falling into the wrong hands. Evelyn knew she stood at a crossroads, grappling with the duality of her discovery. On one hand, she yearned to illuminate the world with the wisdom contained within the library's walls, to awaken the minds of those who sought knowledge and understanding. She envisioned workshops where curious minds could gather, sessions filled with laughter, exploration, and the thrill of learning. She imagined storytelling nights where she could share the enchanting tales of the past, igniting the imaginations of children and adults alike. Yet, on the other hand, she felt a tightening grip of anxiety. The very power that made the library a beacon of hope also rendered it vulnerable. What if those with less noble intentions learned of its secrets? What if they sought to exploit the ancient magic housed within its tomes for their own gain? The stories she had read about the library's past echoed in her mind, tales of shadowy figures who had once tried to harness its power for malevolent purposes. The Guardians had fought valiantly to protect it, and she could not forget that legacy. Evelyn understood that safeguarding the library was as crucial as sharing its treasures. She needed a strategy, a way to disseminate knowledge while ensuring that its magic remained untarnished. As she sat in the grand reading room, the light filtering through the stained glass windows, she began to map out a plan, her heart racing with both excitement and trepidation. First, she knew she had to gather allies. The task of sharing and protecting the library's knowledge couldn't rest solely on her shoulders. She envisioned forming a community of passionate individuals, teachers, scholars, artists, and everyday people who shared a love for learning. Together, they could create a network that celebrated the library's legacy while standing as its guardians. Each member would bring unique strengths, contributing to a collective vision of how to engage with the library's resources responsibly. Evelyn decided to host a series of community meetings, inviting locals to share their ideas and concerns about the library's future. She knew that fostering a sense of ownership and involvement would empower the community to protect what they cherished. As she drafted flyers and spoke to her friends, her enthusiasm grew. The thought of uniting people under a common cause was invigorating. At these meetings, she would emphasize the importance of knowledge and the ethical responsibilities that came with it. She would encourage attendees to explore the library's depths, but also to remain vigilant. Evelyn would share the cautionary tales she had encountered, illustrating the potential dangers of unchecked ambition and the exploitation of knowledge. It was vital, she realized, to cultivate a culture of respect and reverence for the library's treasures. In addition to community engagement, Evelyn contemplated the implementation of a mentorship program. She envisioned pairing experienced scholars with eager learners, creating a bridge between generations. By instilling a sense of responsibility in the next generation, they could ensure that the library's secrets were passed down with care, nurturing a profound appreciation for its history and purpose. As she outlined her ideas, she also realized that education would play a pivotal role in her mission. Workshops on ethics in scholarship, discussions on the responsible use of knowledge, and creative sessions focused on storytelling and interpretation could be woven into the fabric of the library's offerings. She imagined panels that tackled the complexities of magic and its implications, fostering a dialogue about the responsibilities that accompany great power. However, even with her plans in motion, the shadows of uncertainty lingered. Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that there were those out there who might seek to undermine her efforts. What if someone within the community turned out to have ulterior motives? What if someone learned of the library's secrets through her outreach and sought to claim them for themselves? The fear of betrayal loomed large, urging her to remain cautious and vigilant. To counter this, Evelyn decided that part of her role as a steward of the library would include creating protective measures. She researched ancient wards and enchantments that could be employed to safeguard the library from prying eyes. With the help of trusted allies, she began to implement subtle defenses, magical barriers that would cloak the library's most potent secrets, ensuring they remained hidden from those who would seek to exploit them. As she worked tirelessly to create this balance between sharing knowledge and safeguarding it, Evelyn found herself reflecting on the stories of the guardians who had come before her. Their struggles, their sacrifices, and their unwavering dedication to protecting the library inspired her to stand firm in her resolve. She understood that it was not only about preserving knowledge, but also about nurturing a community that valued integrity and wisdom. In her heart, she held the belief that knowledge, when shared responsibly, could empower individuals and uplift the community. but it was equally essential to protect that knowledge from those who would distort it. As the days turned into weeks, Evelyn felt her vision for the library taking shape, a vision rooted in both openness and vigilance, a harmonious blend of enlightenment and guardianship. With each passing day, Evelyn became more convinced that she was on the right path. The journey ahead was daunting, fraught with challenges, but she felt a growing sense of purpose. She was determined to honor the library's legacy while ensuring its magic remained a source of wonder and inspiration for all who entered. As she looked out over the ancient bookshelves, filled with untold stories and endless possibilities, she knew that she was ready to embrace her role as both a sharer of knowledge and a protector of its secrets. With a heavy heart, Evelyn made the decision to return to Ravenswood. She knew that her discovery would change the town forever, but she also knew that it was necessary. The lost library was too important to remain hidden. When she returned to the surface, she was greeted with a mix of awe and skepticism. The townsfolk had always heard the stories, but few had ever believed them. But as Evelyn shared what she had found, they began to realize the truth. The lost library was real, and it held the key to their future. With the help of the town's elders, Evelyn began the process of restoring the library to its former glory. They worked tirelessly to catalog the books, preserve the artifacts, and ensure that the library's knowledge would be available to future generations. But as they worked, they also faced new challenges. Word of the library's discovery quickly spread, attracting scholars, adventurers, and treasure hunters from all over the world. Some came with good intentions, but others sought to exploit the library's knowledge for their own gain. Evelyn stood at the threshold of the library, the air thick with a sense of purpose and a hint of trepidation. The towering shelves, filled with ancient tomes, seemed to pulse with a quiet energy, and she felt an undeniable connection to the wisdom housed within those walls. But with her newfound knowledge came a clear understanding. The library was a treasure, and like all treasures, it required protection. Determined to safeguard the library's secrets, Evelyn sought the guidance of the spirits that had long been whispered about in the scrolls she had studied. These were not mere figments of legend. They were the echoes of the guardians who had once watched over the library, their wisdom woven into the very fabric of its history. She believed they could help her fortify the library against those who might seek to exploit its magic. One evening, under a crescent moon, Evelyn set out to perform a ritual that would summon the spirits of the guardians. She prepared her space with intention, lighting candles that flickered like fireflies and placing fresh herbs around her in a protective circle. The sense of rosemary and sage wafted through the air, creating an atmosphere of reverence and clarity. As she closed her eyes, she focused on her connection to the library and the guardians who had dedicated their lives to its protection. With each breath, she envisioned the library's history, the laughter of scholars, the rustling of pages, the thrill of discovery. As she meditated, she felt the air shift, a gentle breeze dancing through the room as if inviting the spirits to join her. "Ancient guardians," she whispered, her voice steady yet filled with awe, "I seek your wisdom. The library must be protected, and I am here to honor your legacy." Moments later, the candles flickered more fiercely, casting playful shadows across the room. A soft, luminous glow began to take shape before her, forming a silhouette that resonated with an otherworldly presence. Evelyn opened her eyes, and there, shimmering with ethereal light, were the spirits of the guardians, each one a testament to the magic that had once thrived within the library. The first spirit, a tall figure cloaked in robes that seemed to ripple like water, stepped forward. "I am Elira, keeper of knowledge," she said, her voice echoing like a gentle breeze. "We have watched over this library for centuries, and we recognize your commitment to its safety." Evelyn felt a wave of warmth wash over her, emboldening her spirit. "Thank you for coming," she replied, her heart racing. "I need your guidance to establish wards and safeguards that will protect the library's secrets from those who would misuse them." Elira nodded solemnly, her luminous form radiating an aura of wisdom. "To protect the library, you must create layers of wards, each one designed to resonate with the essence of the knowledge contained within. These wards must reflect both the nature of the library and the intentions of those who seek to enter." With the spirits guiding her, Evelyn began to envision the protective measures she would put in place. Together, they crafted a plan that was as intricate as it was beautiful, intertwining magic with intention. The first ward would be an emotional barrier, a gentle yet firm shield that would sense the intentions of those who approached the library. Anyone with pure intentions, those seeking knowledge, understanding, and growth, would pass through unharmed, but those with darker motives would find themselves gently repelled, as if caught in an unseen web. Next, they discussed the ritual of trust, a series of ancient questions that would be posed to those who sought entry. Only those who could answer with sincerity and respect for the library's legacy would gain access to its deeper secrets. The Guardians had once used this method to ensure that the library remained a space of learning and wonder, free from corruption. Evelyn felt a surge of inspiration as she envisioned these wards. "What about a Guardian's sigil?" she suggested, excitement bubbling within her. "A symbol that would resonate with the library's spirit and signify protection." The spirits nodded, their forms shimmering in agreement. Together, they designed a sigil that combined elements of nature, knowledge, and magic. A blooming flower surrounded by intertwining vines, symbolizing growth and the interconnectedness of all knowledge. This sigil would be inscribed on the library's entrance, serving as both a warning and a welcoming sign to those who approached. As they worked through the rituals, Evelyn felt the very essence of the library shift around her. The air crackled with energy, a reminder that magic was not just a tool, but a living force that thrived on intention and respect. She began to understand that these wards were not merely barriers. They were invitations to connect with the library's legacy, to become part of a community bound by a love for knowledge. After hours of collaboration, the Guardians prepared to impart the final piece of wisdom. "Evelyn," Elira said, her voice softening, "the greatest protection comes not just from wards and sigils, but from the community that cherishes this place. Encourage the townspeople to embrace their roles as protectors of the library. In doing so, the library will thrive, and its secrets will remain safe." Evelyn nodded, feeling a profound sense of responsibility. She realized that her journey was about more than just establishing safeguards. It was about cultivating a culture of respect and reverence for knowledge. She needed to engage the community, inspiring them to take ownership of the library and its treasures. As the spirits began to fade, their forms shimmering like stars in the night sky, Evelyn felt a surge of gratitude. "Thank you for your guidance," she called out, her voice steady. "I promise to honor your legacy and protect this library with all my heart." With the spirit's wisdom echoing in her mind, Evelyn set to work implementing the wards and safeguards. She meticulously inscribed the Guardian's sigil above the library's entrance, feeling the pulse of magic flow through her as she completed the task. Each line drawn was a promise, a commitment to the guardians and the knowledge they had entrusted to her. Then came the emotional barrier, woven with care. Using herbs and crystals infused with the energy of the guardians, she created a shimmering veil at the entrance, its glow faint but reassuring. The air around it felt alive, humming with a protective resonance. Once the wards were established, Evelyn knew the next step was to share her vision with the community. She organized a gathering in the town's square, inviting everyone to join her in celebrating the library's significance. As she stood before her neighbors, her heart swelled with excitement and determination. Today, we honor not just the library, but the knowledge and wisdom it holds, she proclaimed, her voice ringing with conviction. We have the power to protect this treasure, to ensure that it remains a sanctuary for generations to come. Evelyn shared the stories of the guardians, the wards, and the sigils that now grace the library. She urged her neighbors to become champions of knowledge, to embrace their roles as protectors and learners. The energy in the square was palpable, a spark igniting within each person present. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the town, Evelyn felt a renewed sense of purpose. With the spirits guiding her and the community rallying behind her, she knew they could create a vibrant, thriving space where knowledge and magic intertwined. A place where the library could flourish, safeguarded by those who cherished it most. In that moment, she realized that the guardians had not just entrusted her with the library's secrets, they had given her the opportunity to create a legacy of her own, one rooted in community, respect, and the unyielding power of knowledge. As she looked around at her friends and neighbors, she felt a profound sense of hope, ready to embark on this new chapter together, with the library standing tall at the heart of it all. As the restoration of the library neared completion, Evelyn reflected on all that she had learned. The Lost Library was more than just a collection of books. It was a legacy, a testament to the power of knowledge and the importance of preserving it for future generations. But the library's story was far from over. Evelyn knew that there were still many mysteries to be uncovered and many more secrets to be revealed. She also knew that the library would continue to play a vital role in the world, guiding humanity through the challenges that lay ahead. And so, with a sense of hope and determination, Evelyn made a vow to protect the lost library and to share its knowledge with those who would use it wisely. She knew that the library's legacy would continue to grow, and that its impact would be felt for generations to come. The lost library had been found, and its secrets were once again available to the world. But this was only the beginning. The library's knowledge had the power to shape the future, and it was up to those who discovered it to use it wisely. Evelyn's journey had come to an end, but the story of the lost library was just beginning. As she looked out over the town of Ravenswood, she knew that the library's legacy would continue to inspire and guide those who sought its wisdom. And so, the Lost Library became a beacon of hope and knowledge, a symbol of the power of learning and the importance of preserving the past for the future. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.